Are you a light summer? Here's what you need to know. Let's get all the way into it. So if we're looking at the color wheel and we're looking at light summer all the way over here, I'm pointing, but it's not, all the way over there, it's right next to light spring, which means that the dominant feature of a light summer is that they are light. Um, so they're light first, they're cool second, and they're muted last, making them the brightest of all the summers. They do have a touch of spring influence, which does make their colors a little bit more vibrant, but they're still very soft and muted compared to the springs, of course. So, like I explained in the light spring video, color season analysis wasn't really made with black folks in mind. I'm just gonna be honest with you, right? And so when they describe the requirements to meet light spring, this is what it looks like, right? I've even heard some things. It's like if your hair is below, I think, a certain level of blonde or like a light brown, you can't be a light summer or a light spring. Well, understanding that that's relative to your race, there are cultural implications to this. Or not cultural, but physical implications based on your race. If you are a part of a race that generally has dark features and you have lighter features overall for your race, you could be a light summer, you could be a light spring. So traditionally, this is what a light summer can look like, but when we apply this to black women and other women of color who tend to come from races where dark is a defining characteristic and they don't necessarily have that, let me show you what that can look like. It looks a lot like this. This is Jasmine Sanders. Jasmine Sanders is black. So she's biracial, but she does have a black parent. So she's, So if you see here, relative to her race, she has lighter features. She has naturally lighter hair, she has lighter eyes, and she has lighter skin. Let me show you another example that can also look like this as well. So she may not have like light eyes, like green, blue, hazel eyes. However, if you look at her features overall, she has lighter features. So that will put her in the lighter categories. And I have tested it. She's a light summer. So the features of a light summer is going to be light first, and then it's going to have cool undertones. So they're going to have like a bluish and grayish tones to them. Again, they're muted, so there is going to be almost like a grayed and blended feature to them. So let's look at a saturated photo of a light summer. So light summers have low contrast overall, and as I saturate this photo, you can see it. Really, the only thing that sticks out is her makeup. Like, she has black eyeliner, so it sticks out. But if you were to take this away, there wouldn't be much contrast here. And that's what you're going to see with light summers. They're going to have overall light features, which is going to almost completely take away their contrast. So they have low saturation. They have light features, which, again, low saturation. Their skin tends to be neutral with a cool lean. And they'll either have beige or kind of pinky undertones. Their hair tends to be anywhere from an icy blonde to lighter browns, especially if you are black or a woman of color. So let's look at the palette. So if we look at the light summer palette, when we're looking at all these colors, they're all mostly light. There are very few dark colors in here. There aren't really any dark colors. Because again, if your natural features are mostly light, your colors aren't going to be dark. So you're going to have a couple of supporting colors just so that you don't walk around in like super bright things all day. But for the most part, your colors are pretty light, and they're also very soft. Now notice they're a little bit on the vibrant side, and that's because you sit right next to spring. Another thing that that you do benefit from sitting next to spring is that although silver does look best, you can wear gold and rose gold. So you being neutral does allow you to wear gold, but you have a cool lean, which makes silver look best. So I would even just say, if you're gonna wear gold, still just keep it away from your face. This has gentle colors, no harsh contrast, and some warmth and brightness because of spring. And you can see that here as we compare the palettes together, a lot of the same colors. They're just a little bit cooler over in the summer category and softer as well. And when we compare them to true summer, again, a lot of the same colors, except they're a little bit lighter. True summer colors are a little bit heavier and cooler. Light summer colors are a little bit lighter and do have a little bit more warmth in them. And as we know, color seasons are somewhat of a spectrum. So if you're a light summer that leans in the light spring direction, you can steal some colors from the light spring palette, and that will be the cooler colors from the light spring palette. And I've circled some of them here. If you're a light summer that leans in the cool summer direction, you're going to pick the lighter colors out of the cool summer palette if you're going to steal some colors. So some of these colors are circled here as well. One thing I've discussed in previous videos is that as a summer, black is not in your palette. But even more so that you are one of the lightest types in all 12 seasons, black is really unflattering on you. And that's just something you have to keep in mind. Just give it up, let it go. So some alternatives for black for you would be a charcoal, a cool mocha brown, and a dark dusty blue. You're going to follow that same rule with white. White is too vibrant and it's going to overpower you a little bit. Even though you are one of the lightest types, white is still too bright for you. So you're going to stick with a muted beige or an off-white color. Ivory works as well. Another thing that you're going to want to avoid are colors that are just dark in general. And you can really see it on lipstick. So if you put Jasmine Sanders in a dark berry red, it's still a cool red, and this is actually a red I put on a soft summer. It is overpowering on her. She needs something a lot softer. Honorable mentions are Adwoa Boa, Doja Cat, Ice Spice, Jeremy Meeks, Reese Witherspoon, Jasmine Sanders, and Thando Hopa.